So, what we're going to do here is we're going to test to see if the bearing is gone. So there's two different ways to check your front wheels. Alright, you're going to grab your wheel, like by the treads itself, and try to move it back and forth this way, so side to side, right? So you can actually push it a bit, and you're pushing the whole steering system. So what you're looking for is a very mechanical, clunking, loose feel to it. Okay, if it feels loose this way, then it's your tie rod, your outer tie rod. And if you grab your wheel this way, and you hear that? You can actually hear it. Oh, that's another noise. But when I'm moving this, you can actually feel the wheel jiggle back and forth. That means your bearing is gone, or going. So, that's what you do first. You jack up your truck, you test it. Now, don't make this mistake. You start taking everything apart. That's wrong. What you have to do is lower your vehicle. Alright? Then, you want to take off. Now, this is an 02 Dodge Dakota, right? So, different vehicles might have slightly different ways of doing this. So, make sure you get the right way. This would be nice if it had a little spot that I could pop this cap off. Oh.
Don't break it.
Making a mess out of it. There we go. So, I have a little center cap on mine. Now, right in here, there's actually a cotter pin that we have to pry out. And that's where the nut is that holds the whole assembly on. So you actually have to have the wheels on the ground so you can take that out. It's not locked in any way, shape, or form. So the weight of the vehicle keeps it in place while you take it apart. So, let's see if we can get that cotter pin out. It may even be easier to take the wheel off, pull the cotter pin, put the wheel back on, but we'll see. So, now we get that pesky cotter pin. So now that the wheel's off, pull the pesky cotter pin. Okay. Pull this retaining nut. This just locks it so that your nut doesn't spin and become loose. So put that whole assembly where you're not going to lose it. So, we drop the truck again. And then we have to loosen that hub off. So, this takes a bit of a beast. This one is 32 millimeters, the socket. And a big bar, or your impact gun. So, loosen that off. Oh, that was somewhat easy. Okay. There we go. Then, now we jack the truck back up. Remember, leave room so that you have some place to put your axle stand. We're going to do this safely. What you want to do is you always want to have a backup system. So this is your primary safety system. Your second is your jack. So jack it up. Wheel doesn't have to be too far off the ground. Find a good space for your axle stand. Lower it down ever so slowly. Make sure you got your axle stand exactly where you want it. So the weight of the vehicle is on the axle stand. And then what you do is make sure your jack, give it an extra little pump or two, so it also holds some of the weight. That way, if your axle stand breaks, you're good. You're still safe. You don't want this falling on you. So, now when you remove this, once again, skip every other bolt. Now, we have to take off our caliper here for our brakes to get the hub off, because the hub's in behind all this, right? So you will need, for this particular vehicle, the Torx bit. This one is a T45, and there's 2 bolts back here that you have to remove. So what we want to do, it's a little time consuming. They have to be all the way out. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Yeah, that looks like it's all the way out. And the other one. Now, this particular brake system has this fancy retaining clip that holds it on for God only knows what reason, but it's there. So you got to pry that off. There you go. That just pops off. Fancy little clip. Now, you can just take this off. Just pop it off, he says. There we go. Okay, before I take it off all the way, I've got to support that whole assembly, because I'm not taking the brake line off. I'm going to leave that on. So we pull this out of the way, and we set it down on this other axle stand. So, as you can see, the brake pads are still very new. You can still see the groove line in them. That's once that groove line is gone, your pads are worn out. Okay, you can see this little groove line that I'm putting the screwdriver in. Okay. And then you can also check your rotor. Ooh, it's hot out today, I'm sweaty. Okay, this is your brake rotor. You can see there's no pits in it. The grooves, there's a couple little grooves, but nothing major. So, you'll see when they're worn out, they don't look nice like this. They look crappy. So, now we have to remove the hub. So, there's actually a washer on this. I'll take that off. Easier said than done. We'll just pop that right off. Oh. Come on. It's like rocket science. So, and behind here, there's 3 bolts that hold this whole assembly on. Okay? And they are held to take off. So, we'll see what we can do. Let's see what size they are, and go from there. Okay, so this one, the metric doesn't really fit it properly, so we've got a 9/16 bit. And this is where it becomes fun. There we go. All right. So this one is coming off, which is great, because when they don't come off, it's really awful. Okay, it's a fairly large bolt. And it should be, because it's holding all the way to your vehicle on 3 of them. So, next.